Tonight I am refuting Brandon's speech, and his main claim was that bicycle helmets fail to substantially increase bicycle safety. His three secondary claims were 1. Wearing bicycle helmets creates a false sense of security, 2. Public perception greatly exaggerates the safety provided by helmets, and 3. Bicycle helmet laws are ineffectual at reducing injury. I would like to begin by responding to his first secondary claim, which said that wearing bicycle helmets creates a false sense of security. In this part of his speech, he mentioned that helmeted bicyclists ride riskier, cars drive closer to helmeted riders than non-helmeted, proper bicycling skills that lead to safety are ignored, and responsibility of safety wrongly falls on the bicyclist from the car driver. He cited bicyclesafe.com, where I would assume that he got these ideas, but nowhere in this website does it specifically mention any of these details. The website is mainly about bicycles and safety regarding riding around cars. Although the website mentions that helmets will not prevent getting hit by a car, and that the #1 goal should be avoiding the impact, it does not mention anything about a false sense of security from wearing a helmet. Brandon also stated how cars drive closer to helmeted drivers than non-helmeted, but did not have a source for this statement either, nor does he have any sources for his idea on how proper bicycling skills are ignored by helmeted bicyclists. BicycleSafe.com does say that wearing a helmet and following the law aren't enough to be fully safe while driving your cars, but again, it says nothing about how helmets create a false sense of security. His second secondary claim was that public perception exaggerates the safety provided by helmets. In other words, Brandon is saying that society is making helmets seem safer than they are. In a way, this is true considering that BicycleSafe.com warns bicyclists that a helmet will not save you from a collision. However, this is also a statement that is not supported with any sources. There is no way to measure public perception, and saying that the safety provided by helmets is exaggerated is only an assumption. During this part of his speech, Brandon talked about how 90% of bicycle injuries are caused by car collisions, but this detail did not have any relevance to his secondary claim, which is about public perception and the exaggeration of helmet safety. Brandon's third secondary claim was that bicycle helmet laws are ineffectual at reducing injury. He brought up a statistic from a research done by the Transport Research Laboratory in 1996 about the ratio between helmet wearing and cycle use in Great Britain. He mentioned that there are more bicyclists when there aren't any helmet regulations or laws, and less bicyclists where helmet wearing is enforced. However, his source did not mention anything regarding bicycle injuries. Throughout his entire speech, Brandon talks about how car collisions and injuries occur whether or not the bicyclist is wearing a helmet, but his secondary claims are all related to generalizations about the rider's perception or the public's exaggeration, which had nothing to do with the statistics and details regarding bicycle safety. His three secondary claims about the false sense of security created by helmets, the exaggeration of safety provided by helmets, and helmet laws and its relation to bicycle injuries did not support his main claim about bicycle helmets failing to increase bicycle safety. Based on Brandon's sources such as BicycleSafe.com and BicycleUniverse.info, it is true that helmets will not protect you from a collision or a serious injury while riding your bicycle. The only way to be safe on a bike is knowing how to ride a bike safely around vehicles or busy streets and being aware of your surroundings. However, wearing a helmet will decrease the severity of certain injuries while riding a bike. While Brandon argued that a helmet will not protect you from a fatal crash, the Bicycle Safety Helmet Institute states that non-helmeted riders are 14 times more likely to be involved in a fatal crash than helmeted riders. Safe Kids USA, an organization working to prevent accidental injuries in children by spreading awareness to parents, mentions the danger of riding a bike and the importance of bike safety, starting with the simple things such as wearing a helmet. Safe Kids USA says that wearing a helmet can reduce the risk of injuries by 85%. With that being said, taking safety precautions seriously is extremely important, even in the everyday simple tasks such as wearing a helmet while riding your bike. As mentioned earlier, wearing a helmet will not prevent a collision, nor will it save you from getting into a serious accident, and the only way to be as safe as possible is to be aware of your surroundings and not ride recklessly. However, wearing a helmet could prevent fatal head injuries, and it is always better to be safe than sorry. So next time you ride your bicycle, be sure to ride safely and wear your helmet. Thank you.
All right, for the first couple points, I thought that you were mostly just going to deal with responding to the advocate's lack of evidence on a particular point, or the inferences being drawn from there are not really straightforward, or they're conclusionary. And I thought that you made good arguments on all those points, and everything that you said basically is a response that you could make immediately after having heard the argument for the first time if you just carefully analyze what's going on. And that's kind of what you want to be able to do on the spot. I was a little concerned because I thought, well, that is all true, but we should have some information to put this into a context and give us some comparative data, and we weren't getting any of that. And so I'm thinking, oh, well, it's kind of average sort of thing. And then right at the end, you give us some comparative statistics and put it in context. And I thought maybe that information could have been integrated a little bit earlier in the presentation, but it did finally come up, and so it does kind of give us a way of looking at the way the advocate is splitting hairs from your point of view, and maybe a simpler way of evaluating the relative safety of the helmets. I thought that that was fine. All right, thank you.